Hello, everybody. This is Anna Karenina by Leo Tolstoy. Part 6, Chapter 2. This terrace was a favorite resort of the ladies after dinner, and today a very important matter was under consideration. Besides the usual manufacture of various articles destined for the infant wardrobe, certain sweetmeats were being concocted after a process used by the Sherbatskys, but unknown to the old Agafya Mikhailovna. Flushed, with tumbled hair, and her sleeves rolled up to the elbow, she held a pan of sweetmeats above a small, portable stove, in a very ill humor, inwardly registering a vow that the raspberries should burn. The old princess, author of this new concoction, and feeling herself abused because she was not allowed to superintend it, surveyed these actions of the housekeeper with a side glance, at the same time talking with an indifferent air to her daughters. The conversation of the three ladies fell upon Varenka, and Kitty, not wishing to be understood by Agafya Mikhailovna, spoke in French. She hoped to learn what Sergei Ivanovitch had declared himself. "What do you think of it, Mamma?" "I think he can consider himself the best match in Russia. He's no longer in his first youth." "I know, but as for her, she is an excellent person, but he might—" "But think, Mamma, Sergei Ivanovitch, with his position in the world, has no need to marry for family or fortune. What he needs is some sweet, intelligent, loving young girl. Oh, that would be so nice. When they come in from their walk, I shall read it in their eyes. What do you say to it, Dolly?" "Don't get so excited," resumed the princess. "Mamma, how did Papa ask you to marry him?" said Kitty suddenly, proud, in her position as married woman, to be able to approach important subjects with her mother as an equal. "Very simply," answered the princess, her face brightening at the remembrance. "You loved him before he spoke?" "Well, certainly. Do you suppose that you have invented something new? It was decided, as it always is, by looks and smiles. I doubt if Kostya said anything so particular to you." "Oh, he wrote his declaration in a bit of chalk. How long it seems since then already." "I've been thinking," began Kitty after a silence, during which the three ladies had been preoccupied with the same thoughts. "Ought not Sergei Ivanovitch be warned that Varenka has had a first love?" "You imagine that all men attach as much importance to that as your husband," said Dolly. "I am convinced that the remembrance of Vronsky torments him still." "It does," said Kitty, with a pensive look. "Why should that disquiet him?" asked the princess, disposed to resent the inference that her maternal watchfulness seemed to be called in question. "Vronsky did make love to you, but what young girl escapes that?" "How fortunate for Kitty that Anna appeared upon the scene," said Dolly, "and how the roles are changed. Anna was happy then, while Kitty thought herself to be pitied. I've often thought of it." "It's quite useless to think of that heartless woman," exclaimed the princess, who was not resigned to having Levin for her son-in-law instead of Vronsky. "Yes, indeed, and as for me, I do not wish to think of her at all." "Whom do you wish not to think about?" asked Levin, appearing upon the terrace. No one answered, and he didn't repeat his question. "Oh, I'm sorry to disturb your tete-a-tete," said he, vexed to find that he had interrupted a conversation which they were unwilling to continue in his presence. And for a second he found himself in sympathy with the old servant, furious at having to submit to the dominion of the Sherbatskys. Nevertheless, he approached Kitty with a smile. "No, are you coming to meet the children? I've ordered the horses. Will you join us, princess?" Levin couldn't bring himself to call the princess Mamma, as his brother-in-law did. Although he loved and respected her, it seemed to him like disloyalty to the memory of his own mother. This fancy annoyed the princess. "Then I will walk," said Kitty, rising to take her husband's arm. "No, Agafya Mikhailovna, are your preserves successful? Is the new method good?" asked Levin, smiling at the housekeeper in his desire to cheer her. "Perhaps they're good, but in my opinion much overdone." "Well, at least it will prevent their spoiling, Agafya Mikhailovna," said Kitty, divining her husband's intention. "And you know that there is no more in the ice-house. As for your spiced meats, Mamma assures me that she's never eaten any better," she added, adjusting with a smile the housekeeper's loosened neckerchief. "Don't try to console me, Baruina," replied Agafya Mikhailovna, giving Kitty a look of increased sadness. "To see you with him is enough to content me." This familiar way of speaking of her master touched Kitty. Come and show us the best places to find mushrooms." The old woman raised her head, smiling. The smile seemed to say, "One would gladly guard you from all hatred if it were possible. Follow my advice, and put over each pot of jelly a round piece of paper soaked in rum, and you'll not need ice in order to preserve them," said the princess.